up to the kitchen. Then it has a media room, a game room, so it's got lots of spaces you can go to, along with the outside living area. There are different features in every room, but there's a large mural that's very discreet in the formal living room. And when you enter, you'll see the barrel ceiling run the whole length of the house. And it's been faux finished also with rope lighting up there. The home has 3 stories and the elevator goes to every floor. The utility room is very unique. It was finished by Jane Carson, who came in, and she does the Lagriglio and Grotto murals and finishes, and that's what was done in that room. So there's a mosaic in there, and the wall has a mural on it, and at the end of it, you'll find like a wine grotto at the back where you can store your wine. The granite in there is very pretty also. All the granite is custom granite you pick. It's on Lake Conroe. It's got a vanishing edge pool, vanishing edge spa. There's a little table in the pool so you can sit in there and have some drinks if you choose. There's a fire pit, and then there's an outdoor kitchen. Out on the water, there's a boat lift, boat dock, covered boat dock, and 2 different jet ski lifts that will accommodate 4 jet skis. If you'd like to see this stunning home, and it is exquisite and you would not be disappointed, give me a call, Beverly Smith, 713-569-2113. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Carrie Owsley, and I work with Hub International. Hub is one of the largest national personal insurance brokerages in the U.S. We have a direct appointment with all of the high net worth companies in order to provide the most comprehensive insurance solutions for the custom needs of our clients.
Luxury home insurance. You ask, what's the difference between luxury and standard home insurance? Well, to begin with, there's guaranteed replacement coverage. True replacement, not just like, kind, and quality like the other companies. We know you have hopes to never have a claim. However, if you do, it's comforting to know you have the protection you need. Let's say you have a large water loss due to a plumbing leak while out of town for the weekend. If the loss is over $50,000, our companies will waive your deductible, and you are welcome to rent a home comparable to yours while your home is being repaired. And, surprisingly, the cost is almost always less than the standard market rates on luxury homes valued at $1 million and higher. We believe that having the right automobile insurance is no laughing matter. Automobile insurance is offered by so many companies. Do you know what coverage you have? Here are some coverage enhancements to look for. Agreed value coverage, original manufacturer replacement parts, comparable rental vehicle. Don't settle for standard auto coverage when you could have the best. Do you insure your most valued jewelry or fine arts? Would you have coverage if you lost a $25,000 ring while on a trip to Europe? Or say you have a party and someone spills wine on your $100,000 antique couch? Or what if you dropped and broke a $250,000 bottle of aged old wine? And to make things easy, try our blanket valuables coverage. Most importantly, do you have an excess liability policy, commonly referred to as a personal umbrella policy? Excess liability coverage is an extra layer of liability protection that sits over your primary home, secondary home, automobile, and watercraft policies. This coverage is worldwide, and the policy will pay your defense costs too, up to the limit you choose. How much do you need? 3 keys to help you determine how much coverage to buy. What is your risk exposure? What are your unprotected assets? Think about your future earnings. There are an array of other specialty coverages to meet your custom needs. Make sure to work with an insurance broker that can offer much more than just home and auto insurance.
Welcome home to Hub International. We want to help you protect your family, your wealth, and your lifestyle. Be confident knowing that you are well protected.
Welcome 6600 Johnsonville Road. My name is Kurt Lutzow and I'll be your guide today. Let's tour the house. Please come in. Wow. So that concludes our tour for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did giving it. Thanks for coming. Well, we're so fortunate today to have the president of our sponsor, Bruce Sellers, of the Montgomery County Luxury Home Connection. Welcome, Bruce.
Thanks, Kurt. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you on a really great show. It's a wonderful opportunity to showcase the lifestyle we know about here in Montgomery County and share it with the world out there. So in addition to some great homes, maybe they'll learn a little bit about what goes on in Montgomery County.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about the Luxury Council here in Montgomery?
The Montgomery County Luxury Home Connection we put together as kind of a collaboration of successful high-end realtors within the county. Specifically, it's not broker specific. There are agents represented from every brokerage in the county. It's also not a club. It's not a membership where you pay your dues and show up and have a good time. Membership actually has to be earned through production. All of our agents, all of our member agents have gone through classroom training. They've passed the test. They've gained the accreditation and the designation. And they've produced a certain volume of productivity within the high-end market. And because of that, they've been invited to join this group, and it's a great opportunity for us to collaborate and talk about good things and sometimes the challenges we have in this business and try to all be better realtors as a result.
So we are very excited. It's new, isn't it?
It is new. We began this last fall. Started with a small group, just kind of talking about what if, and it's kind of grown month by month. And we've got a fairly robust membership, but we'd love to have some more realtors join us to the extent they qualify. It's a great opportunity to collaborate with people that you do business with every day anyway.
That's right, and one of the things I like about it is we live on a standards. We're trying to provide something for the consumer where if they're in that luxury market, they can look towards our expertise.
Absolutely. Real estate is a competitive business, and in a sense, we are all competitors, but at the same time, if there were only one house out there, it'd be a problem. There's lots of properties for sale, so we're here to learn best practices and apply those best practices for our clients, to make it a better experience for our customers, to sell more property at the highest price we possibly can, to help our luxury buyers find the best value they can for the properties they want and the lifestyle they want. And we do that by working with one another, sharing ideas, sharing successes, and having lunch now and again.
Is there one takeaway that we want to talk to our potential other high-end realtors out there that might want to join our ranks?
Well, I'd simply say that it's a great group of people. We are highly collaborative. No real egos involved in this, because we're all kind of in the same game together, and there's really no pecking order, so to speak. You come in, you join us. It's a way for every month you're allowed to showcase some of your luxury properties to the rest of this group, and that's really the ultimate goal here, is to make all of us more aware of all of the high-end properties that are available here in Montgomery County. And we do that by being able to share it with the people who are actually going to go bring buyers to see them.
That's right. And on our show, we list the Luxury Home Connection listings and feature our realtors so that we have the most exposure.
We do. And I'd just like to say, Montgomery County is a pretty special place. And a lot of people measure luxury by dollars, and certainly that is a criteria of performance within our group. But luxury is also a lifestyle, and we've got such a great lifestyle here in Montgomery County. So whether you're selling a property for $300,000 or $3 million, one of these fine agents can help you do it better and do it quicker.
Well, thank you, Bruce. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Thanks for watching the Montgomery County Luxury Home Show. We'll see you next time.
Are you or your family in need of affordable healthcare options? Tired of out-of-pocket expenses, taking time off work, or pulling the kids out of school? For only $27.95 a month, you can get access to affordable healthcare with Wellness Shield. You will have access to a licensed medical doctor 24/7 at no cost to you. You will also receive discounts on additional options available through our network of preferred providers. Call us or visit us online at www.wellnessshieldtv.com. Mention our promo code to get $5 off of your first bill. Call us now and get started today.
Hi, I'm Shawn Stauffer, and we are on the scene live at El Gato Coffee House in the Heights area of Houston. Coffee and cats, two of my favorite things. This is Houston's first and only cat cafe. Let's go inside and meet the great people making it all happen, get a cup of joe, and meet some of those adoptable kitties. We're with Renee Reed, and Renee Reed is the owner and entrepreneur behind El Gato. Renee, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for coming.
This is awesome. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I can't take credit for the original idea itself. It is a concept that started in the late 90s in Asia, but came within the last like 2.5 years or so to the U.S. And so that kind of it coming to Austin made me realize that we can do this in Houston too. So that's how it took off here for me.
And people don't have to be coming in just to adopt. They can come in and just hang out, right?
That's right, yeah. We call it cat therapy. And so, so cats have known benefits of lowering stress and blood pressure. And so, yeah, people can come in and sometimes they think that they're not going to adopt, and then they find one that they really bond with. And so, like yourself.
That's right. I adopted Alice. Alice was one of the original residents here.
Yeah.
And I saw crafts classes online. Tell us about that and some of the other activities.
Yeah, and so we do a lot of crochet here. So we have a Crochet 101, and then this month we're also offering a 102, so more of an intermediate class. and a watercolor and pencil class as well. And
Yeah, right.
so like our craft classes have been really popular, and so a crafternoon class, which is making cat toys. So and that's what most of our arts are about, or making some type of toy for.
Isn't there yoga as well?
Yoga, movie nights, Saturday morning cartoons. So we're having a lot of fun with cats over here.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a certain type of cat that you like to focus on adopting out?
Yeah, we like to focus on cats that are a little bit older, not quite kittens, ones that may be getting overlooked at the shelters. So, so when they come here, our guests have the opportunity to see how amazing older cats can really be, and so we've had a lot of luck with those adoptions. We've had our very first cat was an 8-year-old. We've adopted a 10-year-old, and so yeah, so we're doing really well with the older cats.
That's
here.
wonderful, because a lot of times I think people don't realize how hyper a new kitten can be.
They're a handful. They really are. And so when we do adopt kittens out, we always try to adopt them with their litter mate, because 2 is really, it's a lot more manageable, believe it or not, when you have the kittens.
Right, and this wonderful bridge that's above us.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we were really fortunate to have met James Waters of James Waters Creation. So he custom made these bridges. This is his first one ever to have done. Just kind of showed him some examples of what we were looking for here, and it's really turned into quite the work of art. I'm so happy with
The
how
cats absolutely love it.
they love it. Like, they really do love it, and so do our guests.
Yeah, that's for sure. Can you tell me like one super touching story or moment since you've opened?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's just one, to be honest. It's hard to think of just one. I love to see the smiles in people's faces. A lot of people are coming here to celebrate birthdays, or some family members are so sweet they even bring their friends and families as a surprise, and so they won't know where they are, and just to see the amazement. And some of them have never even heard of a cat cafe. And so they walk in the doors with, just mind blown.
Yeah.
And, so happy, and just.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I've witnessed a lot of joy here just from today.
And then we get to complete people's homes too whenever they come in with an adoption. And so we're celebrating having 19 adoptions right now. And so that's what makes this all worthwhile.
Renee, tell me a little bit about the TNR programs here in Houston and the stray cat population problem that we face.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so there's so many really awesome organizations out there that are doing a lot to help with the overpopulation. And, a couple of my favorite that are out there is Hope, as well as the Animal Justice League. And so I actually kind of found myself living among an overpopulated neighborhood, and honestly, that's kind of how I got to where I am right now in doing this. And so Hope was the one who came to me. I came to them, but they came to my rescue, I guess I should say. Loaned me a couple. Taught me all of the skills needed to do the TNR, which for those of you guys who aren't aware of what tag, neuter, and release is, so it's a humane way to catch not just feral cats. Also, I like to call them community cats. So the cats that are living on our street that maybe they're not necessarily fit to be living in someone's home. Some cats prefer to be like outside cats. And so with TNR programs, we're getting those cats, we're taking them to get them either spay or neutered. And if you've ever noticed the notched ear, that's an indication of a TNR cat. And so they've also received their vaccinations. And one thing I really love for people to know is in the city of Houston as well, the city does a lot to help people out too. And so if you find yourself living among a colony of cats, Don't be overwhelmed. These organizations are out there to help. The city is there to help. So Bark, if you register your colony, and they'll actually pay to spay and neuter your cats once your cats are registered with them.
And there's a lot of misconceptions about strays or ferals, that they spread disease, and all that's false, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of good things that they're doing. You know, they're taking care of, you know, like the rat problems, which used to be really bad in Houston. And
a lot of people don't realize TNR is actually cheaper than trapping and euthanizing. Is
that
correct?
Oh, absolutely. And another thing that people don't realize about the colonies either is, you know, some people think I'm going to go and I'm going to dump this cat, or I'm going to bring it to a shelter, and that's not how colonies work. So colony of cats, they know whenever the population is dwindling down, and that actually incentivizes them to procreate, and so the colony will grow whenever they're getting that absent.
We're visiting with Crystal Lynn Sosa. Crystal Lynn, tell us a little bit about the adoption process.
So practically we have our cats just visit up with the clients and the customers, and after they visit, after so much, then they end up telling us that they end up liking them, they fall in love with them, they put in an application after getting to know them, and we just go through the process from there.
Is it moving? Is it sentimental when you get attached to one and he goes home or she goes home?
So currently the one I'm attached to is Sunny, but that's because he's our tripod and he's so adorable. So it is kind of sad when they end up leaving.
But it's wonderful. It's heartwarming too, right?
It is, actually, it is. But we love to see them go, but not in a bad way, but we love to see them go because they end up in a forever home.
I'm with Zanira Seth, one of the volunteers here. Zanira, thank you for talking to us today.
Hi, thank you.
And what is your favorite part about working here at El Gato?
So I love cats, I always have, and I've always wanted to do something that was productive and helped our society in some way. So I think it's just been great working here, getting to meet the different cats, seeing them get adopted and go to loving homes. We always miss them here, but it's great knowing that they have a space to call their own.
Is there a favorite cat you have?
I've had many favorites, all who have gotten adopted, so it's a good and bad thing, but currently Sheldon's my favorite at the moment. He just kind of follows me around.
He's my favorite too.
Yeah, he just follows people around. He's a really friendly cat. So.
Has the neighborhood response here in the Heights been great so far?
Yeah, everyone's been really supportive. People love the area. People in the area like to support us, so it's been great.
Renee, thank you so much, Renee Reed, for being with us.
Thank you so much for coming out.
And there you have it, El Gato Coffee House, located at 508 Pecor Street in the Heights, or on the web, www.elgatocoffeehouse.com. I'm Shawn Stauffer for KVQT Channel 21, Houston. We'll see you next time on The Scene Live.
Football season is here, and Woodlands Online Sports is back better than ever. Watch all the action on KVQT 21 Houston and woodlandsonline.com.
Tub is a back-breaking chore. There has to be an easier way. Introducing the all-new Hurricane Spin Scrubber, the new cordless and rechargeable power scrub brush that cleans faster and easier. Even these dirty old tiles are no match for Spin Scrubber. Sparkly and clean every time. The incredible torque can bust through any caked-on crud with ease. So forget bending and straining to clean the tub, because you'll get this extension pole free. Now reach down into the tub to power away stains. You'll also get this free Soft Flex cone brush that fits perfectly into corners. Plus, we'll include this extra large flat brush free. Use it to bust through dirt on the shower floor. You'll also get this handy storage bag. Get your Hurricane Spin Scrubber today for just $39.99. But hold everything. Call right now and you can get a second set. Just pay separate fee. Plus, get your shipping absolutely free. Order now.
Call 1-800-791-5684 to get your Hurricane Spin Scrubber. Call now or go to spinscrubber.com. So call 1-800-791-5684. That's 1-800-791-5684. Call now.
Every journey begins with one step. Located in the heart of Conroe and founded in 1958, Sacred Heart Catholic School is committed to academic excellence and a Christ-centered education, rooted in faith, family, and service. Enroll in Sacred Heart Catholic School today and join us on our journey as we transform the world. We are looking forward to meeting your family.
Sometimes in life, we're fortunate enough to cross paths with people who impact our lives and change them for the better. Today is one of those days.
Rachel is 6 years old, and I say that she's a typical 6-year-old, other than she can't walk, can't talk, and she doesn't have use of her arms and her hands. She loves Elmo, loves Sesame Street, loves the Wiggles, loves the beach, loves the water, loves to go to school. We are so incredibly blessed to have her. She has changed our lives, really for the better.
We are on location today in the offices of Kenna Seiler. Kenna is a prominent local attorney and also the mother of a beautiful 6-year-old girl that was diagnosed with Rett syndrome. Kenna, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Your daughter Rachel was diagnosed with Rett syndrome when she was 22 months, is that correct?
Exactly.
And tell us about Rett syndrome and who does it affect? Rett syndrome, excuse me. Who does it affect?
Rett syndrome is an X-linked genetic disorder, and so what that means is that it only affects girls. Typically, if a boy were to have Rett syndrome, the mom would have a miscarriage, and no one would ever hear the term Rett syndrome. So girls with Rett syndrome are born normally, they develop normally until they're anywhere between 6 months and 18 months of age. At that point, they regress. They lose forever the ability to speak. They lose the ability to use their arms and their hands. Many have seizures, and many have feeding tubes.
Walk us through Rachel's early life leading up to her diagnosis. What was that like for your family?
Sure. Rachel was born on her due day. She was the absolute perfect baby. She didn't cry very much. She slept. But as she progressed, we noticed that she really wasn't meeting those developmental milestones.
Now, a lot of advancements have been made towards a cure. It's not a pie-in-the-sky dream anymore. Tell us about those advancements.
Sure. The gene that causes Rett syndrome was discovered actually in Houston in 1999, and we have recently been able to reverse Rett syndrome in mice. And so that proves the reversibility of Rett syndrome. So now we just need to do it in little girls.
That's terrific, terrific news. Now, we talk about Strollathon happening October the 2nd at Rob Fleming Park. How many Strollathons are taking place around the country, and how can people get involved and learn more and maybe make a donation?
There's probably about 25 Strollathons around the country. This is the International Rett Syndrome Foundation's signature fundraising event. We are having 6 different Strollathons across the state of Texas. We started last weekend with an event in the Valley. We've got one in San Antonio, Dallas, Amarillo, in Austin, and then the finale Strollathon is going to be the Strollathon in the Woodlands on October 2nd. People can sign up at firstgiving.com/Houston Stroll. They can become team captains, start their own team, encourage friends to sign up, or join an existing team.
Thank you so much for being with us, Kenna Seiler.
Thank you again. We appreciate it.
Next, we'll be interviewing Kevin Black, so stay with us on location. I'm Sean Stoffer, and we are on location at the Do-Si-Do, Montgomery County's hottest dinner and live music venue. I am so fortunate to be joined today by singer-songwriter Kevin Black. Kevin, thank you for being with us.
You're very welcome.
Now, I understand you're a native Houstonian?
Absolutely.
I'm so curious about this. How did you get started in music?
Well, it all started when I was 8 years old, and progressed up to in my teens, where we were just basically involved in playing around town just to have fun. eventually we realized that there's a business out there, and that's the time when we started earning a living. And so so it just kind of snowballed into performing at all different types of events, whether it be a fair, festival, a bar, somebody's living room, any place that we could go perform where there was no danger.
On a more serious note, you've been championing Rett syndrome for several years now. Tell us why.
I know you're aware that I had a daughter with Rett syndrome, that her life was taken at the age of 16. At that point, I pretty much was drawn into the worldwide effort to eradicate Rett syndrome from the planet, actually, so that all the mothers and the fathers and the siblings don't go through what they go through, and the child itself can live a much happier life.
Now, I am a huge Celebrity Apprentice fan. Your brother Clint recently appeared on the show, and he played for Rett syndrome. Tell us what happened, and what was that like for your family?
There was a pretty cool introduction to the Celebrity Apprentice when I got a call wanting to know if Clint would be successful in one of his projects for Donald Trump, that he would win a certain amount of money, and it was undetermined at the time. And would I be willing to come up to New York, him presenting me, or Rett Syndrome Foundation, with a $25,000 check. It was a little overwhelming for me at the time, and I lost the ability to speak for a moment, and it was a really emotional thing. And I know everybody in the Rett community was overwhelmed at the moment as well, who were watching.
I understand you wrote a song and you dedicated it to Courtney. Will you play it for us?
I'd love to.
Off of Kevin Black's new album, Sold Out, live at the Do-Si-Do, here's A Tear for You.
Today's a good day for a memory. And how long has it been? I keep a picture of you in my head. There's so many things I wished I could have said to you. Here comes that moment where I start to cry. So here's a tear for you, and here's a tear for me, coming together with a perfect smile. 'Cause those who know me know that I'm happy to have only have had you for a little while. Today's a good day to laugh out loud. 'Cause when I think of you, I have to. You can tell by the look in my eyes, I wasn't ready to say goodbye to you. Oh, but here comes that moment where I start to cry. So here's a tear for you, and here's a tear for me. It's coming together with a perfect smile. 'Cause those who know me know that I'm happy to only have had you for a little while. Said those who know me know that I'm happy to only have had you for a little while, for a little while. Those who know me know that I'm only you've had you for a little while.
That was incredible. Very, very moving. Kevin Black, thank you so much for being with us. You are a class act. And a big thank you to Do-Si Do. I'm Shawn Stauffer. We'll see you next time on location.
God's Garage repairs vehicles and gives vehicles away for free to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military. We are a group of volunteer mechanics who meet each week to help those who are in a place of need and offer a fresh start with the vehicle. This provides freedom and job opportunities to those who so desperately need our help. By partnering with God's Garage, you can ensure that we are God's hands and feet to these hurting ladies. Whether you donate a car, your time, or financial resources, you are a blessing to God's family. If you know of a single mother, widow, or spouse of a deployed military member who is in need, please contact us through our website, godsgaragecar.com.
Tired of trying to hide your belly bulge? Now there's a fun, effective, and easy way to get fit and toned in just minutes a day with the Simply Fit board.
I'm Lori Grenier from Shark Tank. I like being toned, but I'm not big into working out and sweating. That's why I fell in love with the Simply Fit board.
The secret is its unique twisting motion and balanced board pivoting action that engages your entire core, all while having fun. Call or go online now to get your Simply Fit board for only $39.99.
Do you hurt? Are you sore? Is every day a battle with pain? Then you need to call the Medical Help Network. If you have Medicare or private insurance and you're in pain, regardless of your age, we can help. A pain relief expert will help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can receive prescription topical ointments, wrist, knee, back, ankle, even neck braces to help relieve your pain, all with little or no cost to you. The call is free, the shipping is free, and we do all the paperwork for you free. So why are you putting up with pain? Regardless of your age, if you are in pain and have Medicare or private insurance, we can help. Call right now. Why have another day of pain when relief is just a phone call away?
Call 800-914-5387. That's 800-914-5387, or visit our website at medicalhelpnetwork.com.
Back-breaking scrub to clean your messy bathroom, toilet, and tub? What you need is the Scrubtastic Power Scrubber from Clorox. It's the cordless, rechargeable power scrubber that uses over 300 scrubs per minute to get rid of dirt, grime, and debris quickly and easily. You'll love how your tile shines after the first time you use Scrubtastic. It does all the scrubbing for you so you don't have to. Clorox Scrubtastic has the power to break down caked on, dried on, rusted on messes. And Scrubtastic is rechargeable and easy to store. Plus, with the extension handle, you can comfortably handle any job, high or low. Call or go online now to get the complete Clorox Scrubtastic Power Scrubbing Kit for just $39.99. Order now and we'll even give you free shipping. That's right, free shipping. But to make this the cleanest deal on TV, you can double the offer. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Scrubtastic cleaning kits, an incredible value. Call or go online now.
It's a back-breaking chore, and you can scrub your tile, but it always needs more. There has to be an easier way. From the makers of the best-selling Hurricane Spin Mop comes the all-new Hurricane Spin Scrubber, the new cordless and rechargeable power scrub brush that cleans faster and easier. Even these dirty old tiles are no match for Spin Scrubber, blasting right through the grime, sparkly and clean every time. It makes quick work of calcium, soap, and hard water stains, clear and clean in seconds. The secret is the rotating brush spinning at 300 RPM. The incredible torque can bust through any caked-on crud with ease. So forget harsh chemicals. Now restore the shine and luster to any surface in a flash. Get your Hurricane Spin Scrubber today for just $39.99. Plus get your shipping absolutely free. And you'll never need batteries because it comes with the latest rechargeable technology. Plus we'll even guarantee it for a full 10 years or your money back. Forget bending and straining to clean the tub, because you'll get this extension pole free. Now you can easily reach down into the tub to power away stains, or into the shower to clean moldy grout and tiles. Even clean those areas you couldn't normally reach. And we're not done yet. You'll also get this free soft flex cone brush that fits perfectly into corners. There's no easier way to get faucets sparkling clean. Also use it to blast away the burnt mess on cooktops. Even get into tiny crevices on the fridge door, or best of all, those hard-to-reach shower door rails. Plus, there's more. We'll include this extra-large flat brush free. Use it around the rusty sink drain, or to bust through dirt on the shower floor. And there's no better way to power through the oven door grime, so it wipes off in no time. All 3 brushes easily fit in this handy storage bag. Yours free, but hold everything. Call right now and you can get a second set. Just pay separate fee. Plus, get your shipping absolutely free. Order now.
Call 1-800-791-5684 to get your Hurricane Spin Scrubber. Call now or go to spinscrubber.com. So call 1-800-791-5684. That's 1-800-791-5684. Call or visit spinscrubber.com now.
This is DW News live from Berlin. Tonight, justice on trial in Turkey and a surprising twist in the case of a German national accused of helping terrorists. Turkish prosecutors are calling for the release of human rights organizer Peter Steutner. It comes on the same day that his trial got underway. Steutner's arrest has tested relations between Turkey and Germany. We'll go to Istanbul for the latest. Also coming up, the rerun no one wants to watch. Ahead of tomorrow's disputed repeat presidential election, Kenyans say their country is deeply divided. And Germany's president appeals for better ties between Berlin and Moscow. On a visit to Russia, he tells Vladimir Putin that the two countries have to work together if they want to trust each other. I'm Brent Goff. It's good to have you with us tonight. We start off with some breaking news from Turkey, a prosecutor's call that may have diplomatic echoes. Turkey's public prosecutor is seeking the release of German human rights activist Peter Steutner. Steutner's trial got underway today after he was arrested in Istanbul last July. Now, Steutner is accused of links to terrorism, but Berlin has dismissed those allegations and demanded that he be released. He is among a group of 11 activists being prosecuted, including several from the rights watchdog Amnesty International. We're going to go now to our correspondent, Dorian Jones. He has been covering the trial proceedings for us in Istanbul. Good evening to you, Dorian. So was this decision from the prosecutor, was it really expected?
Certainly wasn't. In fact, speaking to Amnesty officials ahead of the start of the trial today, there was a hope that possibly some of the Turkish human rights defenders could be released following talks with Turkish officials. But there was very little hope that Peter Steutner and the Swede Ali Gharavi would be released, particularly in the present climate of tensions between Ankara and Berlin. And this decision came in the evening. Throughout the day, the prosecutor pursued a very tough line and gave very little indication he was ready to make any kind of gesture. But he, out of the blue, made this request in the middle of the evening and took everybody by surprise.
And a lot of the criticism that we have heard levied against this trial has been at the notion that the judiciary in Turkey is independent. Do you think this move by the prosecutor was an attempt to show the world that, yes, we are independent?
Well, I think that certainly will be the message that Ankara will present to its international critics. It's always insisted that the judiciary is independent in the face of growing international condemnation and accusations that many of these trials are politically motivated. But it has to be said that there is growing rumours and speculation. The reason behind this surprise move is that it comes when there is reports all across Turkey and in international financial media that Berlin was on the verge of using its influence to curtail the lending by foreign international investments development institutions. Now, that would potentially hit hard the Turkish economy because it depends heavily on borrowed money from abroad. And already the Turkish currency has been suffering very heavy falls this evening. So there will be links be made between that decision, especially as the prosecutor made the decision in the evening.
Yeah, the power of the purse, many say, is what made this decision possible. Do we know when the activist Peter Steutner, when he could be free?
Well, we have to be clear that the judge still has to make a decision on that, although it is very powerful that the prosecutor does call for his release. It's unusual the judge to go against the prosecutor's wishes. But if he does agree to release Peter Steutner, along with the other 7 human rights defenders, he could be released possibly very late tonight or in the early hours of the morning. That isn't unusual. So if all goes well, then Peter Steutner could be free in the early hours of tomorrow morning.
All right, so this could be a developing story then. We will go back to you as events warrant. Our correspondent in Istanbul, Dorian Jones, on the story for us tonight. Dorian, thank you very much. Well, tonight the mood is tense in Kenya ahead of tomorrow's disputed presidential election rerun. Authorities confirmed that the vote will go ahead after the top court threw out a last-minute petition to delay the poll. Now, the country is deeply divided between rival political camps. Only 10 years ago, post-election violence in Kenya cost more than 1,000 lives. Now the opposition is already denouncing tomorrow's vote.
Kenya is a country on edge. Here in the 3rd largest city of Kisumu, an opposition stronghold, police and protesters clashed. The demonstrators are determined to ignore Thursday's repeat election.
Acting President Uhuru Kenyatta, you can try to wound us, but you will not stop us. You will kill us, but you will rise again. As Jakoma said, there is no election tomorrow, and that's that, until there will be credibility.
Don't bring the ballot boxes here. If you can't conduct the election in a free and credible manner, there will be no election in Kisumu. Wananchi power!
Their anger stems from the failure of Kenya's Supreme Court to consider a petition to postpone Thursday's planned vote. Several judges failed to show up, making it impossible to make a quorum. Only the country's Supreme Court has the authority to delay the poll, which was called after it annulled an election held in August because of what it described as irregularities and illegalities. A short time later, Kenya's Electoral Board confirmed that polls would open at 6 a.m. local time on Thursday.
Based on assurances given to this commission by the relevant authorities and security agencies, based on the progress that has been made in the commission, the elections are scheduled, will go on tomorrow, the 26th of October, 2017.
At a rally in the capital, Nairobi, main opposition candidate Raila Odinga called for a boycott and new elections in 90 days.
Do not participate in any way in a sham election. Convince your friends, neighbors, and everyone else not to participate.
President Uhuru Kenyatta defended the independence of the Kenyan judiciary, saying the events of recent months made the country a stronger democracy. Amid fears of violence, he called for an easing of tensions.
This evening I speak to you not, let us all maintain peace as we exercise our constitutional right to choose.
No matter what the outcome of Thursday's election, there appears to be no end in sight for the political battle between Kenyatta and Odinga. Both leaders have refused to meet to resolve their differences, adding to the deepening divisions among Kenyans over what path their country should follow in the future.
Well, here's a look now at some of the other stories that are making headlines around the world. In Barcelona, demonstrators have made a fresh call for independence for the region of Catalonia. This after Catalan leader Carles Puigdemont turned down an invitation to address Spain's Senate this week. The Senate is due to hold a vote on dismissing Puigdemont's government on Friday. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has pledged to restore a moderate form of Islam in the kingdom. At a conference in Riyadh, he said that he wanted to end extremism and to make Saudi Arabia a country open to all faiths based on what he called, quote, the true values of our religion. In Austria, coalition talks are underway between the center-right People's Party of incoming Chancellor Sebastian Kurz and the far-right Freedom Party, the FPO. Now, that party, led by Hans-Christian Strache, came third in elections earlier this month. Kurz has promised zero tolerance on anti-Semitism and said that future partners must be pro-Europe. In Bangkok, the 5-day funeral ceremony has started for King Bhumibol. His son has been performing rites in the city's historic quarter, while tens of thousands of mourners have filed into the surrounding areas to bid farewell to the monarch. The king died last October at the age of 88. Well, Germany's President Frank-Walter Steinmeier has told Russian President Vladimir Putin that he is unhappy about the state of relations between Germany and Russia. He made the remarks while on an official visit to the Russian capital. Steinmeier also met with human rights activists after his talks with the Russian president. It's the first visit by a German head of state to Russia in 7 years. The official reason is the handover of St. Peter and Paul Cathedral back to the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Russia. The change of ownership comes as part of festivities marking 500 years since the Protestant Reformation.
An air of celebration at a normal Sunday service, the last one before this Evangelical Lutheran congregation in Moscow officially gets its church back. Lutherans are a religious minority here in Russia. Most in the community have German roots. Their ancestors came to Russia centuries ago on the invitation of the Tsars, who promised land and religious freedom. But later, the Soviet government persecuted Lutherans and seized church property, including this cathedral. The community, led by Archbishop Dietrich Brauer, has been using it again since the fall of the Soviet Union, but so far it has remained Russian government property.
It's like someone started living in your apartment and it's not yours anymore. They let you turn up, but the whole time you have the feeling that it isn't yours. At any point it could end up in government hands or other hands, but now it's ours. It feels like home again.
In the officially atheist Soviet Union, many churches were repurposed. From 1937, this cathedral was used as a movie theater and a film studio. By then, all Lutheran churches across the country had been closed, and many of their pastors arrested and shot. Here at Vidyanskaya Cemetery in Moscow, long known as the city's German cemetery, the scars of that persecution are still tangible. Many gravestones here were neglected and destroyed. After the Second World War, the Lutheran community struggled with the additional stigma of its German origins, often associated with the Nazi enemy.
The return of our church to some extent restores historical justice, historical truth, but only partially. I hope that this will just be the beginning of a new stage in the development of our country and our community.
The number of churches that were destroyed, that's a crime, of course. The fact that this cathedral is being returned, that's good news.
The church belongs to the congregation. It belongs to the people that come here and look after it.
Now the congregation is getting a church to call home. And since it's in the capital, they hope this transfer will set a precedent and that the Russian state will return other churches as well.
Well, here in Berlin, it is the speed that has caught practically everyone by surprise. The four political parties trying to form one governing coalition after last month's election appear to be making progress much more quickly than predicted. Talks between Chancellor Angela Merkel's conservatives, the Free Democrats, and the Greens had been expected to last several weeks, if not months.
So much concrete agreement probably came as a surprise. There's already an initial paper outlining common goals, and everyone has been tweeting about it. The main point, no new debt. But for the Green Party, that represents simply a notice of intention. We want a balanced budget, but we also want to do something for people with low incomes, for families. We want to do something about the environmentally destructive subsidies, about constructing rental housing. All parties involved want to invest and to relieve financial burdens, especially on families with children and lower to middle income groups. But is all that possible without new debt? The Greens don't believe it can work. We know that it can, and that is the whole point of the negotiations, to determine how to make something sensible out of the aims agreed together. That will require further discussion, but the Bavarian allies of Merkel's conservative CDU party worry whether their expensive campaign promises can be implemented. I hope this won't be a single cappuccino solution that is the least amount of relief, but then we should focus on making sure that relief is palpably effective. Reservations abound despite the common ground found so far. The next round will focus on refugees and migration. Reaching agreement there is expected to pose fresh difficulties.
All right, Helen is here now with business news. A contentious discussion about what we eat, what we drink, and how safe it is or is not.
Or it's not. It's a contentious issue. We're talking about glyphosate, Brent, and if you want a resolution on that, well, don't hold your breath. The EU's put a decision on glyphosate on the back burner. Once again, member states can't agree on renewing a European licence for what is a very widely used herbicide. Over 1 million Europeans have signed a petition against this stuff. They're worried that the chemical causes cancer, but studies prove otherwise.
It's the most commonly used herbicide in the world. In Europe, farmers spray glyphosate on around half of all fields used to raise commercial crops. But the weed killer is highly controversial due to concerns it could have an impact on human and environmental health. Today, the EU once again postponed a decision on whether or not to ban it. Activists in Brussels hit the streets on Wednesday to push for one. They say its institutions have colluded with the industry at the expense of the public.
We want the Commission to come out with a non-renewal, a full ban. Any number of years, whether it's 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, as long as it's a renewal, it's not a ban. And European citizens have been clear. They want a ban.
Studies don't agree on whether glyphosate is a long-term cancer risk or not. The World Health Organization has said it could pose a danger. The EU's Food Safety Authority has proclaimed the chemical harmless, but has also been accused of basing that opinion on studies sponsored by manufacturers like Monsanto. Greens in the European Parliament say that's not acceptable. We need to look at independent studies, not just ones carried out by the industry. We have to finally end this thing with glyphosate. There are standard farming methods that work fine without the heavy use of chemicals. By standard farming methods, Martin Häusling means organic agriculture. But many farmers say those methods are too expensive and think it's enough to only ban use of the herbicide directly before the harvest. The battle will now continue as the EU committee responsible for making a decision was once again split.
At the conclusion of the meeting, no vote was taken. The Commission took note of the position of different delegations of Member States, upon which it will now reflect and will announce the date of the next meeting shortly.
The Commission is in favor of extending use for another 5 to 7 years, but it will have to reach an agreement soon. Glyphosate's controversial license in the EU expires by the end of December.
Now, Germany's largest lender, Deutsche Bank, has agreed to pay out a combined total of $220 million to 45 states across the United States over its alleged manipulation of interbank lending rates. The state's investigation allegedly uncovered that Deutsche Bank, along with other big banks, including Barclays, had inflated the LIBOR rate. That is the rate which is used to work out how much banks should charge each other for borrowing money. Deutsche has already agreed to fines of $2.5 billion with federal authorities in the US and authorities in the UK. The bank says that these payouts agreed to today close the case once and for all. Well, time to check in with Wall Street now. Our financial correspondent Jens Korte is standing by. Jens, case closed seemingly for Deutsche, and banks in the US have to be breathing a sigh of relief today after the Senate killed that ruling to make it easier to sue banks. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, with a little help of Vice President Mike Pence, the Senate voted against the proposal from former President Barack Obama that would have made it easier for consumers to file class action suits against financial institutions. So now with this vote of Senate, all that is missing is the signature of U.S. President Donald Trump, and that is pretty likely to happen anytime soon. It is seen as the biggest regulatory victory for the financial industry since the new administration took over. If you look at financial stocks overall, they have been on fire in the past couple of months, and even if that is seen as good news, at least for big financial institutions, stock in that area didn't move that much here on Wednesday. But as I said, so financial stocks saw an incredible increase in the past couple of months.
Absolutely, quite a coup for the banks. Now, the market's definitely not as chirpy as they were yesterday. Seems like some of those quarterly earnings out are just not managing to convince.
Yeah, well, maybe it's a little bit of buy on the rumor and sell on the facts, because we got a couple of big companies out with earnings: Boeing, Coca-Cola, the chip company, Advanced Micro Devices. And actually, the numbers were pretty solid, came in more or less in line, but still we saw some heavy selling. Advanced Micro Devices, for example, losing 13% in value. But that stock, in comparison to last year, has more than doubled. Also, Boeing on the rise, and that stock was the biggest loser in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So even if we got used to it, but we can't have a new record every single day. Now the focus is on Thursday, when the first big tech companies will be coming out with earnings: Microsoft, Intel, Amazon, just to name a few.
Absolutely, and whatever goes up has to come down as well, so some stability is welcome. Jens Korte in New York, thank you very much. Now, for most of us, a spin in a driverless car is still a way off in the future, but a ride in a driverless bus, well, for that you just need to get yourself to a bus stop in a small town in the southern German region of Bavaria. The first driverless bus in Germany has taken to the streets there, and it's free.
This tiny vehicle is cutting-edge technology. At first glance, that may be hard to believe, but it's the first driverless bus operating on public roads in Germany. It's being tested on the streets of Bad Böhnbach, a small Bavarian town 2 hours from Munich. Here in the countryside, where there's a lack of affordable transportation, I really believe that we need to have a service that's efficient, sustainable and affordable, and at the same time environmentally friendly. The bus is free to the public, and maybe with reason. It's slow, moving at just 15 kilometers per hour, but riders probably have time to spare. The short route connects the city center with a spa.
Hold on to your hats if you're on that one. Now, a vision or a mirage? Saudi Arabia's planning to build a megacity in the desert. Oil won't pump through the heart of this metropolis, only alternative energy. Robots, drones and driverless cars will dominate, and the price tag? A cool $500 billion US.
If constructed as planned, the Saudi megacity Neom will be the largest building site on Earth, covering more than 26,000 square kilometers. That's an area of land half the size of Switzerland. It'll go up on the coast of the Red Sea, not far from the hundreds of ships that head for the Suez Canal every year. 10% of the world's exports pass through the waterway. Saudi Arabia wants Neom to be a new global center for trade, a crossroads between Asia, Africa, and Europe. Trade is just one of 9 economic sectors planned for the city. The Saudis also want to draw companies from the fields of transport, robotics, biotech, food science, internet technology, and energy. The difference between it and a city of today is going to be like the difference between these two phones. To be attractive for foreign investors and staff, the country's strict Islamic-based laws will not apply within the city's limits. Neom will have its own systems and regulations, separate from the rest of Saudi Arabia. Men and women, for example, will be allowed to work together. It's an ambitious plan, but throwing money at it is no guarantee of success. There are still many vacancies in a similar giant project, the King Abdullah Economic City. And Dubai's plans for a large carbon-neutral urban center, Masdar City, are still reliant on conventional energy sources for many of its power needs. The new megacity is also supposed to be powered solely by renewable energy. Saudi Arabia says it plans to finish NEOM by 2035.
All right, some troubling news now from the world of sport with Brent.
Helena, thank you very much. Italian police have identified 16 people who placed anti-Semitic stickers in Rome's Olympic Stadium on Sunday. The fans of Capital Club Lazio had sought to taunt supporters of their local rivals by making stickers of Anne Frank in a Roma shirt. The incident shamed Italian football and has stirred strong reactions across Europe.
Troubling scenes at Rome's Olympic Stadium during a game against Cagliari last Sunday. Some Lazio fans put stickers in the arena that showed Anne Frank, the German-born teenage diarist murdered in the Holocaust, wearing the jersey of their local rivals, Roma. Reaction to the incident has been fierce. On Tuesday, Lazio's president, Claudio Lotito, paid a visit to Rome's main synagogue to lay a wreath in remembrance of Holocaust victims. Lotito said the club would take 200 young fans to the Auschwitz concentration camp every year as part of an education campaign. We're here today to make clear once again our position of distancing ourselves from any form of xenophobia, racism, and anti-Semitism. The Italian president and prime minister condemned the actions of Lazio supporters. The Italian Football Federation said a minute of silence will be observed before all games across the country this week. And a passage from Frank's diary will be read out over stadium loudspeakers. Lazio have had a history of anti-Semitic behavior. Some 20 years ago, Lazio fans at a city derby held a banner reading, "Auschwitz is your homeland, the ovens are your homes."
The birth of a baby black rhinoceros in a zoo in the Czech Republic is boosting hopes for the survival of the species. Only a few hundred black rhinos are left in the wild in Africa. The calf was born at the beginning of this month, but has not yet been named. Her keeper says she's in good shape. She looks healthy. She'll stay with her mother for the next few years. It's possible that she may one day join 4 other rhinos from the zoo, which have been moved to Africa. Finally tonight, rock and roll pioneer Fats Domino has died at the age of 89. The iconic rhythm and blues singer, songwriter, and pianist from New Orleans helped change the face of popular music with his dynamic performance style. I'll be back in a couple of minutes with the day, but for now we want to leave you with this tribute to Fats Domino. Enjoy.
Found my thrill on Blueberry Hill, on Blueberry Hill. When I found you, the moon stood still on Blueberry Hill. Lingered
I chose eHarmony was because, honestly, because you had to pay to be on there, and I felt like the people who were on there obviously really value a relationship.
For my family, we are 3 for 3 and our siblings for getting married. Thank eHarmony for that. We've all found our best match in life.
Go on eHarmony every day, check your matches, see who's out there, actually invest some time in the process, and it will work.
Stop waiting. Start communicating for free today.
Did you know Sell Your Gold offers a fast, easy, and safe way to get cash for your unwanted jewelry? Call Sell Your Gold to request a free appraisal kit. Send in your items and receive your payment. Their trained experts ensure you get the highest price for all your unwanted gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Risk-free with no obligation. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call Sell Your Gold to request your appraisal kit today.
Please call 800-588-2912.
When you have credit card debt, the debt suckers, high rate and high pay, never leave you alone.
Debt is really sucking the life out of them.
Yes, they look like death, warmed over.
He's picking up the phone, probably calling his uncle to borrow money.
Thank you for calling Consolidated Credit.
Oh, no, not Consolidated Credit.
With one call, they can lower their credit card rates.
And consolidate their bills into one low payment.
They'll pay off their debt in no time. Put down the phone.
Put down the phone. Order a pizza.
With extra red sauce. That Consolidated Credit makes it too quick and easy to get rid of us.
Thanks to Consolidated Credit, there can be life after death. Call Consolidated Credit now and get your life back.
Because debt sucks.
Call 1-800-206-0697. 800-206-0697. That's 800-206-0697. Call now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marissa Sarback. An intense search is underway for a gunman in a deadly shooting on a college campus in Louisiana. Police say 2 people died outside a dorm out of Grambling State University. The university says the gunfire happened in a courtyard during a fight around midnight. The victims are Earl Andrews, a senior at the university, and his friend Monquarius Caldwell. Both men are 23 years old and from Farmerville, Louisiana. There's no word on a possible motive or if the victims knew the shooter. President Trump is keeping the war with 2 Republican senators alive today through Twitter, while the GOP grapples with what the infighting may mean for tax reform. Lana Zach is following the story from Washington.
Republican Senator Jeff Flake has declared his independence of the Trump administration.
I rise today to say enough.
After an impassioned speech on the Senate floor Tuesday,
we must stop pretending that the degradation of our politics and the conduct of some in our executive branch are normal.
He is predicting today that more Republicans may stand up to President Trump.
You know, a lot of my colleagues have spoken out, and I think a lot more will.
But in a series of tweets today, the president disagrees, writing Jeff Flake with an 18% approval rating in Arizona said, "A lot of my colleagues have spoken out. Really? They just gave me a standing O."
His poll numbers are terrible. He's done terribly for the great people of Arizona, a state that likes Donald Trump very much, as even you will admit.
But it's not just Flake. Senator Bob Corker has also been indicting President Trump, who he supported in the election. He blamed him for the debasement of the nation and says he failed to rise to the occasion as president.
Do you think he's a role model to children in the United States?
No. The constant non-truth telling, just the name calling, the things like, I think the debasement of our nation will be what he'll be remembered most for.
The unbridled critiques from within the GOP comes at a crucial time for the president, who is trying to woo senators to support his tax plan. But Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell thinks that the inter-party politics won't derail the Republican agenda.
If there's anything that unifies Republicans, it's tax reform.
The president says he intends to release thousands of documents about John F. Kennedy's assassination. Kennedy, the nation's 35th president, was murdered in Dallas 54 years ago. Congress has set a deadline for tomorrow for all material related to the tragedy to be released. A Florida sheriff's deputy is on house arrest after investigators say he stole medication and valuables from a deceased man's home. Security camera video of the September 12th incident was released by the family this week. It shows Deputy Jason Cook rummaging through the home of an 85-year-old man during a welfare check. The man died after falling and hitting his head during a power outage. The victim's children say Cook broke into the home after receiving the garage door entry code over his police radio, stole money, jewelry, and several prescription medications. Cook is charged with burglary and grand theft with a firearm. The Better Business Bureau says it's getting complaints about a new apparent scam. Correspondent Kristen Severance talked to one woman who used Google to find a highly recommended repairman, but says imposters showed up at her door instead.
When Courtney Pearson's washing machine gave her an error message,
and it would come up here on the little screen.
A friend told her to call Al's Guaranteed Appliance Repair.
He actually talked me through things and we fixed it that way.
So when the washer broke 8 months later,
and I typed Al's Guaranteed Appliance Repair into Google, and right there was his information and the number.
The next day, these two guys showed up. An hour later, they said they replaced a valve and charged her $420.
I told my husband, he was shocked at the amount too.
She wrote a check, they left, and she tried to do some laundry.
And said, guys, please come back. There is no water. They had done absolutely nothing to fix the machine. But they had gone. Within an hour, they had cashed the check and it had posted to my account.
They never returned and blocked Courtney's number. She looked up Al's Guaranteed Appliance again. This time, she got the number from Yelp.
Al's Guaranteed Appliance?
And he had no idea what I was talking about.
I told her, I said, you know, this week I haven't had any work. So